Speaking of Tesla, man, what do you think about the Tesla stock right now? Like, by the way, S&P 500.
Yeah.
Freaking, are you at all like in stocks?
Oh yeah. So yeah, I know a decent amount about that. So I mean, it's interesting because right now they just breached the requirement for being included in the S&P 500, being that their annual profits have to be.
How does this happen?
So yeah, there's two requirements. So the first one is your annual profit has to be positive, so you have to actually make money. And the second one is your previous quarter, you also have to make money. So obviously Tesla wasn't profitable for a long time. They finally.
And then their market cap's supposed to be high as well?
Well, they met that requirement as well, and yeah, they have to have a high market cap. So how it would be is Tesla would actually be the highest market cap to ever just be directly included into the S&P 500, and on a percentage basis, in terms of like the percentage of the S&P 500 they would occupy, they'd be not the biggest ever at it, but definitely up there. I think it would equate to somewhere around like 1%, which is, if you think about it, it's a ton. Now, I was reading some articles from some different money managers, and they were talking about how typically the year after entities join the S&P 500, they typically do worse than they did the year before. So
why do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean,
some S&P 500
maybe growth isn't always like, to get into the S&P 500, you have to be doing pretty well, and maybe growth is difficult to sustain.
Yeah. Would it happen? Like, I'm assuming there's only 500 companies supposed to be there. Who's gonna get dropped out?
So they have a few that are like they're talking about would probably get replaced by Tesla, but it's an interesting thing because if you listen to what a lot of like money managers are saying is, since Tesla would represent such a high percentage of the basket, it would be difficult for people to see a huge spike in buying because so many different fund managers are trying to replicate the S&P 500. They have to buy so much, which would, I guess, in the short term drive up the stock price, but also be very difficult because they'd have all these other stocks that they'd have to liquidate to replace with Tesla. It's kind of be an interesting dynamic.
It's a weird thing because we have all these S&P 500 ETFs.
Right.
That has all of that, basically replication of S&P 500. And I myself is a non-believer in Tesla stock. I don't believe it's gonna go up. Like I think it's way overpriced. It's very well concentrated on Elon Musk and his brand, and just people are just like believing in that, and all those amateur investors are pumping money in it. But then, like, what if Tesla's gonna freaking crash and it's gonna get the whole freaking index, down with it?
Yeah, risky. I think that's probably one of the reasons why they're a little reluctant to.
So if you're holding ETF for S&P 500 and knows and Tesla is actually going to be a part of it, and then has a huge potential with this percentage of the whole S&P 500 to drag everyone down. Yeah. I don't know.
Give credit to Tesla where credit's due. I mean, they're only one of two automakers to never go bankrupt in America. So I mean, give credit where credit's due. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. Like Elon Musk always does questionable things, just like Trump, outrageous tweets, stuff like that. Funding secured.
420,
and you're like, all right, he's really good.
Remember he's at 420? That was like, whoa, 420, and now it's at 1600s.
Yeah, and it's like, he's really going to get it for that one, and nothing happens, and he keeps chugging along.
The stock, I remember that when he said funding secured at 420, the stock was around 300, and all of a sudden, like, skyrocketed to 420 because, like, the funding was secured. Like, that's the tweet.
Yeah.
And now it's at 1600.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's crazy to imagine that 420 at that point was like a wow.
2 years ago, a few days ago was the 2-year anniversary. So it seems like such a long time ago, but I guess not. I mean,
I bet those Saudi Arabia companies are like, fuck, we should have actually bought it out.
Well, some of them did invest in Tesla. I have some Middle Eastern companies.
No, but the point was like, we're going to take Tesla private.
Yeah, we should have taken advantage of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think of Elon Musk?
I love Elon Musk. I feel like we need more people like Elon Musk. And when I say I don't support Tesla stock, that does not mean I don't support Tesla. Sure. I love Tesla. I want to buy Tesla when I want to get a car, just because I like the idea of it, and I want to see the whole fucking sports mode and like do the whole rocket freaking the
tech is unreal.
Acceleration, all of that. I think people need more people. Like we need more people like Elon Musk. I feel like we have, or in America they have 300 million or more people.
Yep.
And I bet there's a couple more potential Elon Musks, but they just don't have the same opportunities as Elon Musk did. And I don't know what he had. It's just like, like serendipity puts Elon Musk in this like Silicon Valley with the people, with the PayPal and all of that, the PayPal mafia. Elon Musk, I was working before at the foundation that is very heavily been involved in science. And I was talking to like a very established scientists at my company, my colleagues, and I was like, what do you guys think about Elon Musk? Like, isn't he like a cool scientist? And like, no, he's not a scientist. He's an engineer and a business person. And so that what people need to understand, that he has enough knowledge to guide, Tesla, to guide SpaceX, but that's his thing. He's not like he delegates everything to like the smarter people than he is.
And you have to be smart to recognize that you need to do that, right?
Exactly. So he controls everything. He's smart enough to understand what's happening, to kind of like deliver his ideas to the people who can do this.
Sure.
But then he kind of like just steps away. He steps back. And then he focuses on other projects. There's Boring Company, there's Tesla, SpaceX, there's Solar City, there's like a freaking
the tunneling.
Right, the Boring Company.
Okay,
And then there's the Neuralink. That's his little project as well that he's doing. So, but again, like he's not like, when people think what Elon Musk does, he's not actually like scientifically like doing something. He's coordinating. Yeah. And I feel like that's his main thing.
I mean, he's an interesting guy, even if you don't really agree with those leading principles. I think it's kind of interesting that, if you think about it, he could have taken all that money from PayPal and just bought a few mansions and just enjoyed the rest of his life in retirement. But there's something to be said for someone that says, you know what, I'm going to take all this money I have and I'm going to try and do something cool that I think is going to better the world. And that's how, that's how shifts happen in our society. And I think it's admirable pursuit that he's on.